Yo, what's good? It's K Felon for K Felon Beats, upandcomingrappers.net, peeptheindustry.com, and it was a must that I do this video for the whole music production community, because the shit that's going on out here, like you producers have no idea how you are fucking yourselves over when you are selling the full exclusive rights of your beats to an artist. Okay? So I've been telling y'all for a while, finally got through the chapter, you know what I'm saying? Or the section, shit long as fuck. But finally got through the chapter where they break it down, and I just had to bring it to y'all. Alright? I had to bring this to you guys because I want y'all to understand what's going on. Alright? So in this video, we're going to deal with what is called songwriters agreements. Alright? These agreements are between a songwriter or songwriters and a music publisher or music publishers. Okay? Now, songwriters can be a writer, a composer, which is us, beat makers, or lyricists, which are rappers. You know what I'm saying? So these agreements are between a rapper, producer, and, a label, so to speak. Now, in most cases, the publisher will be the owner or co-owner of the copyright of the musical compositions in question. So, if you don't have your own publishing company and you go through a label, basically the label is the publishing company, okay? Now, there's generally two types of songwriters agreements, okay? Number one, the first is what's called a non-exclusive agreement, all right? Under this agreement, the songwriter has written, assigned, and or sold the copyright of a specified composition or compositions to the publisher. Okay, so basically you're either writing for a label, making beats for a label, you're assigning music to artists or whatever, or you just flat out sell the copyrights of the music to the label. Okay. The second one is an exclusive agreement. All right. Under exclusive agreements, the songwriter's services as a songwriter are exclusive to the publisher for a specified period of time, and any compositions written in that period of time are property of the publisher. Okay? This is why niggas is getting fucked over. This is why the Lox was going through it with Diddy for so long, over publishing. Okay? Now, just understand, follow me, and stay with me. Alright? The term of an exclusive agreement is pretty much similar to a recording agreement. So there's really no need to go into it here. If you've seen my other video, then you will know what I mean by terms and all of that other shit. All right. We're just going to talk about the grant of rights, the rights you give up or give to a label to exploit your music. Okay. All right. These grants primarily deal with the exploitation rights in the musical compositions, such as the right to change titles, lyrics, licenses, or lyrics and license to other record companies or whatever, along with the obvious grants of copyrights, which is the ownership of the copyrights, which means that they can get royalties, mechanical royalties, publishing, licensing royalties, so on and so forth. The writer also grants the publisher the right to use his or her name, likeness, biography, and anything in connection with the exploitation of the compositions. So that means that the label has the right to use your name on basically anything. If there's a goddamn video game like Def Jam Vendetta with music in there, nigga, your name is being used. Okay? That's pretty much what that means, along with that music. Alright? So before we go any further, I must warn y'all, man, these are the provisions within contracts where labels hide sneaky shit and niggas get fucked over. Alright? This is where, along with the other provisions, but this is where niggas get fucked over because they don't understand what they're giving up. Alright? And they don't understand what they're not even negotiating for. So, here we go. This is a single song agreement, which is basically a non-exclusive agreement. Alright? So it says, subject to the terms of this agreement, writer hereby irrevocably, exclusively, and absolutely sells, assigns, transfers, and delivers to publisher its successors, and assigns the original musical composition written and composed by writer, now entitled song, herein called composition. All right, so basically, they're saying you're giving the exclusive rights, or you're assigning or transferring whatever to the publisher, which is the song. All right, which title may be changed by publisher, including the title, words, and music thereof, and all rights therein. All copyrights, including all rights included in the Section 106 of the United States Copyright Act of 1976. That's basically the Library of Congress. Copyrights, you need to look all that shit up. Just, brush up on it, get yourself a little educated in it or whatever. And the rights to secure copyrights and extensions and renewals of copyrights, to the extent they exist, in the composition and in arrangements and adaptations thereof. Alright, so pretty much when you sign it over, the label has the right to change the title of the song, the words to the song, and the musical composition. So basically they can switch up your beat or have you switch up the beat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is what this is basically saying. Alright? Compositions and adaptations throughout the world. Any and all other rights that writer now has or to which writer may be entitled, or that writer could or might secure hereafter if this agreement has not been entered into throughout the world, and for publisher, its successors, and assigns to have and to hold said copyright and all rights of whatsoever nature thereunder existing. So pretty much once you sign it over, you cannot, do anything with it for anybody else. All right, it can only be exploited and used by the publishing company, i.e. the label. All right. This is a little bit later in the contract. Number 6. Writer hereby expressly grants and conveys to publisher the copyright of the composition with renewals and the right to copyright and renew the composition, and the right to secure all copyrights and renewals of copyrights and any and all rights the writer may at any time be entitled to, and agrees to sign any and all other papers which may be required to effectuate this agreement. So that's saying that pretty much the label, you are saying that you're giving the label your copyrights to the song, and the label has the right to secure the copyrights. Basically, they can go and copyright it themselves, and they can renew the copyrights, and any royalties or anything that you may be entitled to. Let's say you made a deal with somebody else, like you made the same type of deal with somebody else and you're getting royalties off of that. Well, the label's got to get their money from that. So that's pretty much what this is saying. And any other paperwork, if you need to, let's say, clear a sample or whatever, you got to get all of that authorized in order to put this agreement into, motion. That's what effectuate means put in motion, pretty much. All right. Writer hereby irrevocably authorizes and appoints publisher, its successors, or assigns as writer's true and lawful attorney, with full power of substitution and delegation, in writer's name and in writer's place, and said or in publisher's name. So you are giving the label like the legal right to do basically whatever the fuck they want with the song. You were giving them the legal right. You were saying, here you go, you can do whatever you want with this song, pretty much. All right. Or in publisher's name, to take and do such action and make, sign, execute, acknowledge, and deliver any and all instruments or documents which publisher from time to time may deem desirable or necessary to vest in publisher, its successors, assigns, and licensees any of the rights or interests granted by writer hereunder. All right, so you're pretty much giving up the rights. The label can do what they want. They can, bring in new people to hook up the beat or hook up the song and make the shit fly, do what they need to do, blase, blase, blah. All right. Number 7, it says, Writer hereby authorizes publisher at its absolute discretion and at writer's sole expense to employ attorneys and to institute or defend any action or proceedings and to take any further or take any other proper steps to protect the right, title, and interests of publisher in and to the composition. Publisher may settle, compromise, or in any other manner dispose of any matter, claim, action, or proceeding, and may satisfy any judgment that may be rendered, any or all or any expenses so incurred, and other sums paid by publisher shall be paid to publisher on demand by a writer. So what it is saying is that at the publisher's will, you are saying that at your sole expense, if you put this song out, if the label, I mean, you give the label the beat or whatever, give them a song or whatever, and it has a sample, and you don't get that sample cleared, and they put this song out, and the person whose song you sample come and sue you, well, you authorize basically saying that the publishing company or the label is going to, handle the case or whatnot, and any money that it costs to handle that case is going to come out of the royalties that you're owed, for the song. All right, so that's pretty much what that's saying. I told y'all, I'm trying to niggerize this shit for y'all. It's kind of difficult, you know what I'm saying? It's real difficult to understand, but you got to work with me, all right? Says, writer grants to publisher the perpetual right to use and publish writer's name, including any professional name heretofore and hereafter adopted by writer. All right, now let me niggerize that little phrase right there, including any professional name heretofore. All right, so basically what it's saying, any name that you're using at that point in time. So it would be like K Felon Beats. Now, if I decided to change my name, you know what I'm saying, the same goes for that name. And perpetual basically means for life. All right, so you're giving the publisher or the label the right to use your name forever and make money off of your name forever. This is why motherfuckers like Michael Jackson, Pac, Biggie, Marvin Gaye, all the greats, they're still, labels are still making money off of these people because of things like this. All right, continue on. Likeness, voice, and sound effects, and biographical material, or any distribution and exploitation of music, folios, which is like songbooks, recordings, performances, and otherwise with respect to the composition and for any other purpose related to the business of publisher, its affiliated and related companies, or to refrain therefrom. So pretty much anybody that is affiliated with the label, they pretty much have the right to use your name and likeness for anything they feel fit to make money off of. All right. Now, this is a different provision, but it's I think this is the other one was non-exclusive. This one is exclusive, I think. All right, so let's just go through it. It says, grant of rights. Writer hereby irrevocably and absolutely assigns, transfers, sets over, and grants to publisher its successors and assigns each and every and all rights and interests of every kind, nature, and description, and to the results and proceeds of writer services hereunder, including but not limited to the titles, words, and music of any and all original musical compositions in any and all forms, and or all rights and interests existing under all agreements and licenses relating thereto. Thereto. Together with all worldwide copyrights and renewals and extensions thereof, which musical works have been written, composed, created, or conceived, in whole or in part, alone or in collaboration with another or others, and which are now owned and controlled, and which may during the term hereof be owned or controlled directly or indirectly by writer, alone or with others, or as the employer or transferee directly or indirectly of the writers or composers thereof, including the title, words, and music of each such composition, and all worldwide copyrights and renewals and extensions thereof, all of which writer does hereby represent are in all and shall at all times be publisher's sole and exclusive property as the sole owner thereof, free from any adverse claims or rights therein by any other person, firm, or corporation. Okay, just to break all of that long ass shit down. Pretty much you are signing over, transferring over, selling, whatever, granting the publisher the rights to the song, the music, the title, the words, everything. And anybody that has anything to do with that song, you are pretty much saying that they give up their rights as well. Okay? So everybody agrees that they're going to transfer this song over to the label and get said for royalties, which is set forth in other provisions within the contract for the songwriter. Okay? That's what all of that shit means. Alright? But this shit get a little deeper, alright? Writer acknowledges that included within the rights and interests here above referred to, but without limiting the generality of the foregoing, is writer's irrevocable grant to publisher, its successors, licensee, sublicenses, and assigns of the sole and exclusive right, license, privilege, and authority throughout the entire world with respect to the said original musical compositions and original arrangements of compositions in the public domain, whether now in existence or hereafter created during the term hereof, as follows. Okay, so take a sip right quick. All right. So you are granting, it's just pretty much saying the same thing. You know, you're granting the exclusive right, the license, the privilege, and authority throughout the entire world. You are basically saying the label can do what they want. All right. Gotta let my fucking dog out. So let me get up and walk with it. I'm talking about. All right. It says A. Now this is going into the terms or the what you're basically giving up. It's just basically breaking it down into detail, all right? To perform said musical compositions publicly, whether for profit or otherwise, by means of public or private performance, radio broadcasting, television, or any and all other means, whether now known or which may hereafter come into existence, all right? So you're giving the label the right to use these musical compositions for the public in a private performance. They can put it on the radio, they can put it on TV or any other means or whatever. And when it says which may hereafter come into existence, basically saying any deals that come forth later down the line. Okay? Damn, phone ringing and shit. Okay. Going to continue on. B. To substitute a new title or titles for said compositions or any of them, and to make any arrangements, adaptation, translation, dramatization, or transposition of said compositions or any of them in whole or in part and in connection with any other musical, literary, or dramatic material, and to add new lyrics to the music of any said compositions or new music to the lyrics of any said compositions, all as publisher may deem expedient or desirable. So, this is how the label can just make extra money off of, you know, the composition or your song. Because let's say you wrote a song, you know what I'm saying, you're right, yeah, I mean, as a producer, if you write songs as well, the label can say, all right, well, we want to, you know, put new lyrics on this or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is an exclusive deal. I don't know, getting into it, but if it's not or whatever, pretty much when you give it up, the label can change the lyrics, they can change the music or anything that they want to and seem fit to their desire. Okay, they can do what the fuck they want, pretty much. That's what it boils down to. To secure copyright registration and protection of said composition in publisher's name or otherwise as publisher may desire at publisher's own cost and expense at publisher's election, including any and all renewals and extensions of copyrights, and to hold said copyrights renewals, extensions, and all rights of whatsoever nature thereunder existing for and during the full term of all said copyrights and all renewals and extensions. So pretty much the label has the right to secure the copyright, renew the copyright, extend the copyright, all of that shit at their own expense, okay? Alright. Says to make or cause to be made and to license others to make, master records, transcriptions, soundtracks, pressings, and other mechanical, electrical, or other reproductions of said compositions in which or in part in such form or manner and as frequently as publisher's sole and uncontrolled discretion shall determine, including the right to synchronize the same with sound motion pictures, okay? And the right to manufacture, advertise, license, or sell such reproductions for any and all purposes, including, without limitation, private performances and public performances, radio broadcasts, television, sound motion pictures, wired radio, phonograph records, and any and all other means or devices, whether now known or which may hereafter come into existence. Alright, so it's basically what it was saying in the first paragraph. If they can, license it out for movies. They can put it out on TV. They can put it out on the radio. They can make records or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That they have full control of this said song, beat, whatever. Alright? To print, publish, and sell, and to license others to print, publish, and sell sheet music, orchestrations, arrangements, and other editions of the said compositions in all forms, including, without limitation, the inclusion of any or all said compositions in song folios, song books, mixed folios, or lyric magazines with or without music. Okay, so they have the right to pretty much print sheet music for the beat, like in case, somebody want to perform it live and the band need to play the music. You know what I'm saying? They can print sheet music, or anything. They can print song folios is pretty much song books. Mixed folios is like mixed song books with different artists or lyric magazines or whatever. Shit like The Source and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Vibe, XXL, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what that means, alright? Says, any and all other rights of every and any nature, now or hereinafter existing under and by virtue of any common law rights, and any copyrights and renewals and extension thereof in any and all such compositions. Okay? This shit is fucking like the way. This is why niggas don't understand, and this is why niggas don't read contracts, but this is why y'all need to read contracts. Because this is some fucking confusing shit. Like the way they word these contracts is to throw you off. But at the same time, if you just break down, decipher these words and these phrases and these sentences, you can understand it, alright? So, pretty much it's just any rights of any nature now or in the future existing or by virtue of common law rights of this said copyright of beat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, they have any rights that come in the future, okay? That's pretty much what that shit means, alright? Writer grants to publisher, without any compensation other than as specified herein, the perpetual right to use and publish and to permit others to use and publish writer's name, including any professional name heretofore or hereafter adopted by writer, writer's photograph or other likeness, or any reproduction or simulation thereof, and biographical material concerning writer, and the titles of any and all of the compositions hereunder, and for any other purpose related to the music business of publisher, its affiliated and related companies, or to refrain therefrom. The right shall be exclusive during the term hereof, and non-exclusive thereafter. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, all right. So this is a exclusive agreement. All right, like if you sign with the label. Now I'm gonna finish this real quick. Writer shall not authorize or permit the use of a name or likeness or biographical material concerning with any musical composition covered by this agreement other than for publisher. Writer grants publisher the right to refer to writers as to refer to writer as publisher's exclusive songwriter and composer or other similar appropriate appellation during the terms hereof. Okay, so with the right shall be exclusive during the term. Okay, so if you sign to an exclusive deal, a songwriter's deal is pretty much similar, like I said, to a recording agreement. So it follows along pretty much the same way, you know what I'm saying? And it might even run in conjunction with the recording agreement, and it could end at the same time at the recording agreement. Or if one agreement ends, depending on how they word it, what kind of language they put in the contract, if one agreement ends, then both of them ends at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little shit to look out for, all right? All right, so I know after watching this a couple times, you will fully understand what the labels are doing to the artists in the music industry. This right here, like what I just did, should give you an understanding of what is really going on in the music industry. What is really going on, like why so much shit happens behind the scenes like that. A lot of drama goes on, but niggas don't really understand why. You know what I'm saying? It's paperwork. Alright? So to wrap this up, what you need to realize as a producer or even an artist in this matter, if you write your own shit, that giving up your full rights to your music entitles you to recoup absolutely nothing. I'm speaking specifically to producers with that, with so much fucking emphasis. When you give up the full rights to your music, it entitles you to recoup absolutely fucking nothing. This is why I keep telling y'all. You know what I'm saying? Now let me put it this way. If you sold an exclusive beat to said artist, and they made some type of agreement with the label to exploit the music that they made to your beat, without your authorization, you still owning the full exclusive rights, then you would be entitled to sue for damages. That means you could sue for every dollar that these motherfuckers done made up to whatever point it is that you decide to sue. And you could recoup the back end money from those compositions. You see what I'm saying? This is business. A lot of the shit niggas are doing online with selling beats, that shit, I don't know what the fuck they doing. Don't get me wrong, I did the same shit. I was about to follow the trend, but then I looked and I said, no, I need to understand how the business works. I need to know how the money works. Alright? And this concludes the training for the evening, ladies and gents. Alright? If you're not already subscribed to my list, please do so by clicking the link below to stay ahead of the competition. Because truth be told, I'm telling y'all right now. Alright? The money is in the contract. If you don't know how to speak the language, you won't understand the fucking conversation. I'm gonna let that marinate. Once again, this is K Felon, K Felon Beats, upandcomingrappers.net, peeptheindustry.com. I love y'all. This is why I do this shit. Drop your comments below. Let me know how y'all feel. Share this shit with all your rappers, all your producers out there, everybody. Get this shit out, man, because motherfuckers need to know. This is what's going on. This is how the money flows. If you don't know how to speak the language, you won't understand the conversation. I'm out of here. Deuces.